Moderate. How many do you expect? 20 plus or 25 plus or 15 plus? An easy paper should not be a problem. You should get 20 plus. We'll start the session. Questions 1 to 4, what do they deal with? Read the sentence to find out whether there is any grammatical mistake or error in it. The error, if any, will be in one part of the sentence. Spot the error. How many questions? 4 questions. Question number 1, first I'll read out the sentence, then I will ask you, you respond. High unemployment begets, underline the word begets. High unemployment begets high long-term unemployment, which forces people into prematurely retirement. Now, begets, write the meaning of that word. Begets means to create. To create. In this context, you could also say to make something happen. To make something happen. High unemployment begets, there is no error here. Begets what? High long-term unemployment, no error there, which forces. Please underline the verbs begets, forces. The whole idea is in present tense, which forces people into what? Now underline the word retirement. Which part of speech? Please write noun. Before a noun, you use a word which describes the noun. Which part of speech should it be? Now, prematurely, which part of speech? Adverb. So, what is the correct expression? Please strike off ly, premature retirement, and write the part of speech adjective. Retirement, premature retirement. And make a note the question is related to what? Word forms. Word forms. Also write adjective related. Adjective related. Now, question number 2. The social networking giant is planning. What is the subject here? Social networking giant. Underline that. Is planning to do what? Is planning to introducing a dislike button. But is worried that it will become a way to demean people. Please underline the word demean. Write the meaning of that word. Demean means to bring down the dignity of someone. To bring down the dignity of someone. Also write to discredit someone. Discredit someone. This is an easy one. Where is the error? Second part. First you underline the preposition to. After the preposition, if you have to use a verb, it should be in which form? Basic form or infinitive. You cannot use any other form. So what is the correct expression? To introduce. Please correct it. Introducing is not correct. Introduce. To introduce. If you use a verb with basic form with to, what is the form called? Without to, it is bare infinitive. Present infinitive. Please write a note. Write next to the question based on present infinitive or basic form with to. Question number 3. Sweaters and jackets were replaced with umbrellas and raincoats in the city as heavy rainfall drove away the winter chill here on Friday. Now, it's all are silly questions. I should not use that expression. I'm sorry to say that, but where is the error? See, when I say silly questions, what I mean, not to insult anyone, not to degrade anyone, with due respect to the person who has set the paper. First CCE students, they are substandard. In a way, I'm raising your standards. Take it positively. So where is the error? The first part. Now, at the outset, the expression is in active voice or passive voice? Passive voice. Any expression in passive voice, the main verb should be in which form? Past participle. What is the verb here? So, is it right? No. What is the correct expression? Replaced. Please add the letter D. Were replaced. Which tense is that? Please make a note. Past tense, passive voice. Past tense, passive voice. Question number 4. Even today, the average household income is lower than what it was when recession ends. First, you underline the verb is. There are two clauses. Even today, the average household income is lower than. This talks about a fact. Than what it was. Underline was. Then the context goes into the past. What it was when recession, what will you say? Ended. So ends is not correct. It should be in the past form. When the recession ended, it was something. Please make a note, the question is related to past tense. Past tense. How many of you have got all the 4 correct? Very surprising. How many of you have read all the 4 sentences? Raise your hands. Please raise your hands. Girls, you haven't read these sentences. I am really shocked. Shall I move on to the next set of questions? Please say yes, sir, no, sir. If you say no, sir, I will leave the room. If you say yes, sir, I will continue. Thank you. What are these questions about? Questions 5 to 8. How many questions are there? 4 questions again. 5, 6, 7, 8. But they have given only 3. Then what is the number? 5 to 7. Please correct it. What do you see there? 5 to 8 or 5 to 7? Please correct it. I will also do that, don't worry. Now, what are these questions about? This sentence has 2 blanks. So, double fillers. Very simple. Let us not waste time. So, all these questions are based on 2 aspects or 2 dimensions. What is the first dimension? Grammar knowledge. What is the second dimension? Contextual awareness. Both are very important. Generally, these questions are based on usage, exposure to the language, and to a great extent, contextual awareness. Now, we'll see the first one. Word is. We'll start with the first blank. Word is near, word is out, word is here, word is about, word is everywhere. Of the 5 options, 3 can be considered. Please allow me to speak, then you could respond. Please tick out, here, everywhere. All are possible. Word is out, word is here, word is everywhere. All the 3 are possible. That means what? You have to decide on the basis of the second word and on the basis of the contextual awareness. We'll see the second clause or second part of the sentence. Other cards will also be required. That seems right. Now consider the second option, required. What is the third option? Other cards will also be necessarily. Then it is not correct. So please mark it wrong. You guys are not marking it wrong. Please underline the word necessarily and mark it wrong. What is the fifth option? Other cards will also be main. Is it right? Underline the word main, mark it wrong. Now what are you left with? The second option. Word is out. What is that? Other cards will also be required in the near future for making passports. Question number 6. After receiving the award, this is a bit difficult. After receiving the award, the singer delighted. Seems right? Hold that one. Feast is not correct. Feast goes with a different context, and the verb form is also not right. Caught, irrelevant, mark it wrong. Treated seems right, comma should be there. Attached, not correct. Now you have to decide between the first option, delighted, and the fourth option, treated. Now we'll see the sentence. After receiving the award, the singer delighted the audience to an impromptu. Please underline that word. Impromptu means, please write the meaning, without any preparation. Without any preparation. You do something without any preparation, especially an active skill like public speaking or singing, then what is the word? Extempore. Please write the word extempore. Write the combination also, extempore speech. Extempore speech, presentation. Also write the word presentation. We also use a word, please write one more word, spontaneous. Without any preparation, impromptu, extempore, spontaneous. They all mean the same. But the problem with the first option, delighted with, it takes a preposition with. But what is the preposition here? Please underline the preposition to. So it is not the right combination. Delighted the audience to an impromptu. That is not grammatically correct. That is not the right combination. Now we'll see the fourth option. After receiving the award, the singer treated the audience, treated to what? To an impromptu performance of a most memorable renditions. This seems perfect. The first word as well as the second word. So what is the answer based on that? The fourth option is the answer. Of the three, this is the easiest. Until now, remote controls depend on, that seems the right combination, consider depended. Relied on, that's also possible, underline, consider that also. Stayed on batteries, that is not correct. Depend on batteries, rely on batteries, but not stayed on. Counted on, one of the meanings of counted, I can count on you, means what? I can depend on you. Please write the meaning of count, depend. And write one example, I can count on you. I can count on you means I can depend on you, I can rely on you. So you can consider the third option as well, the fourth option as well. What is the fifth option? Survives, not correct. Now you have to decide based on the second word. Until now, remote controls depended on batteries to send signals, but the eco remote removes its electricity. That is not correct. Reject the first option based on the word removes. What is the second option? Remote controls relied on batteries to send signals, but the eco remote draws its electricity. Please underline the word draw. Here draws means what? Take. Please write the meaning. Take. So where does it take the energy from, electricity from? The physical movement of pressing its buttons. This seems right. Hold that one. What is the fourth option? Remote controls counted on batteries to send signals, but the eco remote get its electricity. That is not grammatically correct. So what is the answer based on that? Second option is the answer. Relied on, draws its electricity. Who has got all the three correct? This para jumble, rather easy. You have the link words, repeated words. There are 3 ideas, each idea, 2 sentences, should not be a problem. All the pairing sentences have the same word, more or less the same form. Now, first we'll take the elimination approach and see what could be the first sentence. Now respond, can A be the first sentence? Why? Please underline and. Can B be the first sentence? Why? Underline this polarization. This polarization cannot be the first sentence. Demonstrative adjective. C cannot be. What is the reason? The first word itself is a demonstrative adjective. What is the fourth sentence? Despite this, can it be the first sentence? Underline the word despite. In addition to, that is adding information, can it be the first sentence? No. Underline in addition to. Now, what are you left with? So, I'll read out the sentence, then I will ask the question, you respond. In the new landscape of labor market, jobs are easier to come by, pause, but ours remain in short supply. Now, here what is the idea of the sentence? What is easy, what is difficult? What is positive, what is negative? Positive is what? Availability of jobs. That you have to grasp. So, please underline, jobs are easier to come by. So, what is the meaning of that? Easy to get a job. Availability of jobs is there. This is the first sentence. Now, which sentence has got the expression availability of jobs? Which one is that? Clearly mentioned. How does the sentence go? This easy availability of jobs. Please underline easy availability of jobs. Can you see the continuity of thought, line of thought? First sentence talks about easy availability of jobs. In the second sentence, the writer makes it quite obvious, explicit. This easy availability of jobs is further supported by data, which shows that unemployment rate fell to 6.1%, down more than a percentage point over the past year. So, please make a note. Now, this is positive or negative? Unemployment rate coming down, a positive development. Now, where do you see the expression positive? D, how does it go? Despite this positive news. So, please underline this positive news. There is a gnawing, underline the word gnawing, gnaw. One of the meanings, typical meaning rather, gnaw means to bite in small bits. There is one more word for that, please write that word. The primary meaning, bite in small bits. The second word, you could also write the word N-I-double-B, nibble. Nibble also means take small bites. The kids, when they don't like the food, they nibble the food. And another meaning, to bother, to disturb. What is it? To bother, to disturb. Worry, to worry someone. Now, what is the context here? Have you written that? Shall I change? So, disturbing fear, gnawing fear means what? Disturbing fear. Despite this positive news, there is a gnawing fear among some economists that the improving data provides false comfort. But what is a clue for you for the next sentence? Which word? Please underline the word fear. Somewhere you have to see the same word. Where do you see? Now, what is the sentence? Third sentence. D is the third sentence. Please make a note. What is A? And the reason for this fear, please underline this fear, already mentioned in the previous sentence. And the reason for this fear is the increase in the number of people in part-time jobs by more than 1 million in November to 27 million, making it one of the corners of the labor market that has been the slowest to heal. The clue for you in this sentence, for the next sentence, tell me what is it? Underline the word heal. The word heal goes with what? Wounds, cuts. Heal goes with what? Wounds, cuts. You get a cut, it has to heal. You get a wound, it has to heal. You know that. Then you have to look for a sentence where a related word is there. Where do you find that? Now before that, what is the sentence number, this one? Fourth one. Where do you see the word wound? How does it go? In addition to being an open wound, please underline. In the previous sentence, it talks about heal. Based on that, you can deduct the next sentence has to be something to do with this healing idea. So, in addition to being an open wound, it has also led to worries that the workforce may be becoming permanently polarized. Underline the word polarized, with part-timers stuck on one side and full-time workers on the other. Please write the meaning of the word polarized. Polarization, polarized means to get divided into two distinct groups. To get divided into two distinct groups, or to get separated into two groups of people or ideas. Please write, two groups of people or ideas. Could be people, could be ideas. Now what is the number, this one? Whether, imagine some more sentences are there. Then what is a clue word for you for the next sentence? Please underline the word polarized. Now what is the last sentence? B is the last sentence. I'll read out the sentence. According to the director of Fair Work Week Initiative, this polarization, please underline this polarization. Hope you guys are listening carefully. So polarized, he talks about this polarization is creating a massive unproductive workforce that is unable to productively engage in their lives or in the economy. So that is the last sentence. I would like to know how many of you have got this one correct. Because it is getting recorded, I don't want to say anything, but after the session, I would like to spend some time on this. The first 4 questions, I expected a lot of students to get all the 4 correct. The second set of questions, 3 questions, I expected a lot of students to get all the 3 correct. This para jumble, I expected almost 80% to get correct. Then we have to explore what could be the reason. We have to go for introspection. What could be the reason? That we'll do after the session. Okay. Now the next set of questions, what do they deal with? Is it question number 13? 13? How many of you have read the passage? Please raise your hands. I want to say something, but my hands are tied. What is the reason? What is this about? Financial inclusion. But broadly, who is involved? Which sector is involved? Whose sector is that? Your sector. Please respect your sector. 2 things I say. 1, respect the 5th option. No correction required, no error. Now respect your sector. Please respect banking sector. But whatever it is, the passage is all about financial inclusion. And almost all the questions are easy to answer, but a few of them are time-taking. You have to read the passage once, twice, only then you can decide which one is right. About 2 or 3 questions. Now we'll start with question number 13. Which of the following is true according to the passage? Please underline the word true. The majority population in urban as well as rural areas does not have a bank account. Now, the passage gives the statistics. Rural 44%, urban 33%. That is majority or minority. So, is this true or not true? Please respond for God's sake. Is it right or wrong? Do we have to consider? We don't have to consider. Please mark it wrong. Majority don't have. What does it say? Majority don't have. Now 44%, 33%, that is majority don't have or minority don't have. The question is clear. Fine. B. RBI has provided sanction to special banks for furthering the process of financial inclusion. Mentioned clearly in the passage. I think 3rd or 4th paragraph, it talks about special provision. So please tick this one. What is C? Close to 40% households in the rural areas don't have access to banking services. What is the exact percentage? 44. I don't know whether it is right or wrong. I was told between 40 and 45, it is considered close to 40%. Between 45 and 50, it is considered close to 50%. Is that right or wrong? If that is right, C is right. Please tick C. Are you aware of that? Yes? Fine. Now, based on that, what is the answer? Only B and C. Which option says that? The 5th option is the answer. Only B and C. I hope it's clear. I didn't know that. 44, I was wondering how could it be close to 40%. Then I was told between 40 and 45, the expression close to 40%. 45 and 50, close to 50%. Shall I move on to the next question? Question number 14. According to the passage, which of the following is not true? Please underline, not true. About the financial inclusion process. Convincing the stakeholders of the need and efficacy. Please underline the word. Convincing the stakeholders of the need and efficacy of the process is one of the prime requirements for the process to succeed. True or not true? Are you guys here? I think I've asked a question. True or not true? It is true, obviously. The passage talks about the same. Convincing the stakeholders, underline the word stakeholders, means what? Persons interested or people interested. Convincing the stakeholders of the need and efficacy of the process is one of the prime requirements for the process to succeed. If you don't convince them, why will they come forward? Whether you read the passage or not, it's common sense. It is true. Please tick that one. The focus of the latest action plan for the process will shift away from focusing on, geographic areas mentioned clearly in the passage. Now, where do they focus? Households. They are moving away from geographic areas, clearly mentioned in the passage. This is also true. What is the third one? The government's plan of action for the said process will be carried out in steps, in phases. He talks about the first phase, he talks about the second phase. First step, second step. This is also true. What is the fourth one? Even after setting up accounts for customers, BCs. Who are BCs? business consultants, correspondent or consultant, will necessarily have to be involved at every stage of the process. In the passage, it talks about opening the account and transactions as well. So this is also true. So what is the fifth option? All the given options are true according to the passage. What is the answer? The fifth option is the answer. Is it question number 15? Similar in meaning or same in meaning, what is the word? Further. It has been used twice. Further inclusion. Further inclusion means what? More or less? More. Then what is the first option? Ahead. Is it relevant here? Promote. Promote results in what? More or less? So hold that one. Prolong. Prolong doesn't go with this context. Prolong means, write the meaning, extend. Don't prolong the session for more than an hour. Some students may think that way. Extend, elongate, stretch. Elongate means what? Stretch, stretch out. Not relevant in this context. Distance, not relevant. So what is the answer? Promote. Further inclusion, promote inclusion. That's a bit difficult, not very difficult. Question number 16. Please underline opposite. So what is the word here? Formidable. First write the meaning of that. Formidable means something very large or big, something frightening. Frightening goes with everyday English. A better word you have got already. Please write the word. Intimidating. Intimidate, frighten. Now, you know the meaning of the word formidable. Peaceful. Another word for peaceful, please write the word calm. Peaceful also means what? Calm. Alarming. Alarming goes with similar meaning. Not correct. Simple. Just hold the first option, the third option. Robust. Robust means what? Strong. But is it relevant here? It is again close to formidable. Creative. Relevant? Not relevant. You have to decide between peaceful and simple. The answer is not simple. The answer is peaceful. Formidable, frightening. When something is frightening, you get agitated. You get agitated, you get disturbed. What is opposite? Peaceful, calm. I cross-checked the antonyms, formidable. I haven't come across the word simple, otherwise also. And I have come across calm and peaceful. Antonyms of formidable. Context-wise, what is a sentence? What is a combination? Formidable what? Task. Okay. Simple task. Now we'll decide based on the context. Could you please read out the complete sentence? I don't have the hard copy. Something is a formidable task. That's what it means. Now based on that, formidable task, write some more expressions, please write. Formidable work. Formidable work. Also write formidable assignment. Formidable assignment. Now means what? Difficult. What is difficult usually? Complicated. It is difficult. Now imagine simple work. What is opposite complicated? Simple. Now based on the context, now you answer, is it peaceful or simple? Obviously it has to be the third option. What is the answer? Third option, simple. But literally speaking, You don't come across the word simple. Literally, opposite of formidable, either peaceful or calm. But what is the combination? Formidable work, simple work. So, what is the answer? The third option is the answer. Question number 17. Similar in meaning, what is the word purview? Purview of some bank, purview of some company, purview of some organization. Means what? Within the scope of some bank. What is the first option here? Realm means what? Area, scope. Please write the meaning. Area, field, scope, all these words. I don't know what's happening. Field. Within the purview means what? Scope. A realm also means scope. Just hold that one. What is the second option? Pressure. Is it relevant here? Mark it wrong. Land, not relevant. Kingdom, not relevant. Protection, again not relevant. Within the scope of something, within the purview of something. So what is the answer? The first option is the answer. Question number 18. Which of the following statements aptly, underline the word aptly. Apt means what? Appropriate. Please write appropriate. Also write the word ideal. Appropriate, apt, ideal. Aptly describes the author's present view of financial inclusion. First option is what? Financial inclusion is and will always remain a distant dream for India, and any effort to bring it about will be inadequate. This is too a sweeping statement. But generally, the question is about what? The writer's view. Generally, a writer's views you find in the beginning of the passage or end of the passage. The last paragraph, the last 2 or 3 sentences of the passage, what do they reflect? Just read once. What do they reflect? What does the writer say? The writer says changing the mindset is very important. Mindset of banks, customers, he lists out. And the previous sentence talks about in the past they tried something but it was not successful. So the stand is positive or negative? Negative. That you have to accept. Then does he put a condition? But if or something has to be done, he says we have to change this first, then that will happen. Ifs and buts are there. With that assumption, without wasting time, we'll go to the fourth option. What is the fourth option? RBI's current efforts at bringing about financial inclusion are inadequate. Why inadequate? Please underline the word inadequate. Because it talks about we have to change the mindset, all that. So that means they are not complete. Inadequate means what in this context? Not complete, not exhaustive, not comprehensive, not all inclusive, and will probably not deliver the desired outcome, a negative stand. And also cautious, underline the word probably. He is not giving a categorical statement. He says the chances are less. Probably not deliver the desired outcome. What is the reason? To get the desired outcome, first we have to change the mindset of the stakeholders. That's what the last paragraph talks about. So based on that, what is the answer? The fourth option is the answer. But the key says something else. Am I right? What does the key say? Which option? Third option? No key. You don't have the key with you. That's good in a way. No, I mean it. Once you have the key, you get tempted to see the key. You don't have the key, you will work on the question. You may spend more time, but in the long run, eventually, that is good. Without the key, it is good. Now, shall I move on to the next question? Question number 19. According to the author, which of the following is or are necessity or necessities for financial inclusion to succeed? What is the first one? Facilitating technology so that it plays a greater role in the process. This has been mentioned in the passage. I think first paragraph, it talks about technology dimension. That is right. Inclusion of members of the unorganized sector in the process. This also mentioned, but not directly, not explicitly, implicitly. In one paragraph, he talks about inclusion of Kirana stores. Kirana stores, organized or unorganized? Unorganized. So this is also right. But it is difficult to make out. Explicit, it's not explicit, it is implicit. What is the third option? Encouraging the target population to be a part of the process. Always that is important. You cannot separate them. You cannot isolate them. So what is the answer based on that? All the three, A, B, and C. Which option says that? That is the answer. But here B is very difficult to make out because you don't focus on the expression Kirana stores. But what is the difference between MNCs like what is that? Walmart and a typical Kirana store in a village or a small town? That belongs to the organized sector. This belongs to the unorganized sector. That's a fundamental difference. Shall I move on to the next question? What is the number? 20. Opposite in meaning, this is rather easy. Simultaneously. But one word may disturb you. Please underline the word concurrently and write synonym of simultaneous. Simultaneous, concurrent, meaning at the same time. At the same time. Now he wants opposite meaning. That means what? Can we consider the second option? No. Together. Is it relevant here? Mark it wrong. Primarily, not relevant. Apparently. Apparently, write the meaning obviously. Apparent means what? Obvious. Evident. Obvious or evident. Simultaneous means what? At the same time. What is the first option here? Subsequently. Same time or later? Later. So what is the answer? The first option is the answer. Opposite. Simultaneous, opposite, subsequently. There's a problem with the key here also. Which of the following can be the most suitable title? Financial inclusion, the road leading nowhere. It is not completely pessimistic. The writer talks about the positive and negative. At the fag end of the passage, he cautions using ifs and buts. So it is not a categorical negative stand. First option is not correct. The road leading nowhere, that is a sweeping statement and completely negative. Please mark it wrong. Financial inclusion, its history. Does it talk about the history or the pros and cons and the problems? Right. Mark it wrong. What ails? Underline the word ails. Ails means what? Ailing organization, suffering. Please write suffer. Ailing means suffering. What ails the banking sector means what troubles the banking sector, what bothers the banking sector, what are the problems that go with the banking sector. Is it right? Is it about the banking sector or financial inclusion? So that's a general statement. What is the fourth option? What financial inclusion can do for India? It is not about what it can do for India. What is the fifth option? The challenge of financial inclusion. The government is trying to do that, and the writer highlights the limitations, the problems, the pros, the cons. So obviously, it's a challenging task to bring everyone into this financial inclusion. So obviously, what is the answer? Not the fourth option as the key says. The answer is the fifth option. It's quite obvious. It's a challenge. The next one. According to the governor of RBI, which of the following should financial inclusion entail? Entail means what? To provide. to provide, to give the right, right? Two expressions, to provide or to give the right. Now, what is the first option? Allow the poor better access to credit. The writer talks about that. Please take that one. Provide uniform services across different economic groups, adhering to the same strict KYC norms. This also mentioned in the passage. KYC, I think the first sentence, first line on a particular page. This is also right. Provide an avenue for facilitating savings of the poor. This also clearly mentioned. I think second paragraph or third paragraph, the writer lists out the benefits. One of them, avenue for facilitating savings of the poor. So what does it mean? A, B, C, all the three are right. So which option talks about that? The second option is the answer. All the three, A, B, and C. Now questions 23 to 25, what do they deal with? Phrase replacement. All the three are easy, provided you are into reading the newspapers. Very simple. The special committee of the Rajya Sabha overruled dissension 4 members. At the outset, does it sound grammatically correct? Mark it wrong. Of the House and gave its approval to the amended insurance legislation. Now the context is present or past. How can you say that? Very good. Please underline the verb gave. Then you have to consider the past expression. What is the first one? Overrules. Is it past? No. Overruled. This seems right. Hold that one. Now we'll read the sentence. The special committee of the Rajya Sabha overruled dissent. Underline the word dissent. Write the meaning. Opposition. Dissent means what? Opposition. Overruled dissent from members of the House. That seems perfect. And gave its approval to the amended insurance legislation. This seems right. Hold that one. When you use the helping verb has, the verb should be in which form? Past participle. Is this right? Has been overruling dissent. But can we use present perfect continuous here? No. So what is the answer based on that? The second option is the answer. Overruled what? Dissent from where? From members of the House. Easy one or difficult one? Easy. For some, not for all. Question number 24. Being part of their initiative. What is part of their initiative? Being part of their initiative, it is not clear. At the outset, you have to ask the question, being part of their initiative, is it clear or is it ambiguous? Ambiguous, so it is not right. Mark it wrong. To export handicraft from local artisans. Please underline the word artisans. Who are artisans? Those who make crafts. Crafts. Those people are called artisans. Traditional crafts. The company will conduct seminars in various cities seeking participation from them. Now, partly it initiating, is it grammatically correct? Mark it wrong. This is wrong, this is wrong. In part their initiation, is it grammatically correct? As part of its initiative, this seems right. As part of its initiative to export handicrafts from local artisans, the company will conduct seminars. This seems, the whole idea seems, the flow is there, grammatically correct, meaning-wise correct, hold that one. For part of their initiative, for, can we use the preposition for? Mark it wrong. So what is the answer? Obviously, as part of its initiative to export handicrafts from local artisans, the company will conduct seminars in various cities seeking participation from them. This is perfect. Now question number 25. A number, please underline the phrase a number. What is the difference between the number, a number? The number, singular, very good. A number, plural. Very good, excellent. A number of small banks and payment banks to be operational in the next 18 months. Here, that are to be operational in the next 18 months. That are understood. To be operational in the next 18 months, are expecting will transform the. Does it sound grammatically correct? Please mark it wrong. The given expression is not correct. Whatever it is, banking landscape of the third largest economy in the world. Now, the context is what? The context, something is going to happen. We expect that. We expect that something is going to happen. Now, imagine we expect someone to do something. Active voice or passive voice? We expect someone to do something. Active voice. Change it to passive voice. Someone is expected to do something. Is expected. Present tense, passive voice. This context goes with present passive voice. Now we will see a number of small banks and payment banks to be operational in the next 18 months. Please put these words in brackets. To be operational in the next 18 months, put in brackets. Now we will read the sentence. A number of small banks and payment banks are expected to transform. We expect the small banks to transform. Change it to passive voice. Small banks are expected to transform. So it seems right. Hold that one. A number of small banks and payment banks will expect to transform. Will be expected would have been better. If it is in passive voice, what is the correct expression? Will be expected. We will expect, they will be expected. So mark it wrong. Have expectations, have been expected. So this is also not correct. Are expecting, are being expected. We have to use present continuous in passive voice. Then what is the correct expression? Are being expected. The word being is not there. So obviously the context is present and the sentence has to be in passive voice. And what is the subject here? A number of small banks and payment banks are expected, plural verb, to do what? To transform the banking landscape of the third largest economy in the world. So what is the answer based on that? First option is the answer. I would like to know how many of you have got this one right. Please raise your hands. I see more students. That's highly appreciable. Now we'll see the last 5 questions. What is this about? It is about Germany. Germans are highly professional. For them, work is worship. For them, work means complete dedication. They work like bulls. According to one survey, a piece of work, if you give it to an Indian, he or she takes 7 days. The same piece of work, you give it to an American, he or she takes 2 days. The same piece of work you give to a German, he or she takes only 1 day. That is their efficiency. They are known for efficiency at the workplace. So the context talks about Germany as a country, and the context is again work related, employment related. I'll read all the sentences. In German eyes, strong exports and a big trade surplus are symbolic achievements. Symbolic, please underline the expression, symbolic achievements. What is the meaning of the word surplus? Excess. Please write the meaning, excess. But other countries are more impressed with Germany's employment. What? We'll see the options. Employment stand, employment record. Can you say employment stand? Mark it wrong. Don't consider the second option. Can you say employment wage? No, mark it wrong. Employment skill. Employee skill would have been better. You cannot say employment skill. Mark it wrong. Employment produce, not the right combination. So the context also talks about the record. So what is the answer based on that? Record, the second option is the answer. But other countries are more impressed with Germany's employment record. What is this record? A decade ago, Germany had one of the worst joblessness scenarios in the rich world. Please underline the word scenarios. Means situation. Write the meaning. Situation. Scenario means what? Situation. So a decade ago, Germany had one of the worst joblessness scenarios in the rich world. However, today its unemployment, when you talk about unemployment, what do you use? A rate. So which option talks about that? The fourth option. Unemployment scale is not correct, degree is not correct, rank is not correct, proportion not relevant. Unemployment rate of 5.4% using OECD figures is one of the lowest in Europe. That's a record. Next, youth unemployment, which is below 8%, is that in America. It should be full, one-third, half, something. So which option says half that? Third option is the answer. Youth unemployment, which is below 8%, is half that in America and a third of the European average. Full stop. It is also the least that Germany has. Underline the helping verb has. Then you have to use a verb in which form? Past participle. Which option is that? Given, occurred, witness you cannot consider, mark it wrong. Foresaw, not correct, mark it wrong. Occurred, does it go with the context? No. Has given or has seen, which one seems practical? The fifth option, this is an easy one. Germany has seen for how many years? Germany has seen for 20 years, not given for 20 years. This is not the result of booming growth. Over the past decade, Germany's economy has on an average grown more slowly than that of America or Britain, and there's a problem with the key. What are the options here? The key says the first option, not faster than, but I don't think so. The answer should be the third option, barely faster than. Write the meaning of the word barely, hardly. Barely means what? Hardly faster than Eurozone as a whole. Not faster than. That doesn't go with the context. Do you know what time it is? 2:50. Usually how long do I take? An hour and 10 minutes. Now 50 minutes I could finish. I've done very slowly. That means easy paper or difficult paper. At the outset, what did I say? Easy paper, you should get 20 plus. Now we'll check. How many of you have got 20 plus? Please raise your hands. Little higher. Give him a big hand. Raju.